Good morning. My name is Jose Rios Lua. I'm the Director of Family Empowerment and Communication for the Division of Specialized Instruction and Student Support. I'm also one of the many people who has the joy of welcoming you to the Beyond Access Forum. Today's virtual event really is the culmination of years of work. We began this work as the Personalized Learning Symposium, where we would spend a day focused on students who are at the intersection of special education and accelerated programs. And throughout the year, that work has grown, so much so that today we're really proud and excited to have partnered with the Division of Instructional Information Technology and the New York City School Library System. This partnership ensures that conversations around inclusion, individualized education, and accessibility are happening throughout the DOE at all levels. So a huge thank you for all of you who are joining today to make it a success. A huge thank you to all of our presenters who are going to share information. And a huge thank you to all of our partners who made today possible. Have a wonderful day. I hope you all enjoy and that you take away something to add to your toolbox to make New York City a better place for not only our children, but their families.
Hello, I'm Lisa Nielsen. I am the Senior Director of Digital Literacy and Inclusion at the New York City Department of Education. I work in the Division of Information and Instructional Technology. We are so happy to see you here today. We are so impressed with the work that you have done so far, and we want to help you make that work as good as it can be, and we want to support you in that. And that's why we bring you events like this. So I'm excited to welcome you to the Beyond Access Forum. I invite you to attend our digital accessibility and inclusion track. Now that we are working so much with digital content, it is more important than ever that we create content that is accessible to everyone, including those with disabilities and those who speak languages other than English. Our office provides support in creating accessible content all year long. And today we have a digital accessibility and inclusion track. If you're new to digital accessibility and inclusion, we have some workshops that I think you're really going to love today. The workshop I think you should take if you're new is the Introduction to Digital Accessibility and Inclusion. If you are interested in creating content that people who speak languages other than English can understand, I encourage you to take the Plain Language and Writing for Translation workshop. That workshop is hosted by Laura Ogando, and being able to write for accessible translation using tools like Google Translate is far out. And if you're responsible for contributing content to your school or your district or your office's website, then I encourage you to attend our workshop that teaches you how to create content that is accessible on your website. And that is Out of Sight. Get it? Website, Out of Sight. I'm so happy you'll be able to spend some time with us today. I know that you'll learn a lot, and I know that you'll have a lot of fun just learning from our workshops and connecting with your colleagues. And don't forget, use our hashtag NYC Schools Inclusion. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Laura Ogando, and I'm a program manager with the Office of Digital Literacy and Inclusion at the Division of Instructional and Information Technology. I've spent the last few months working on helping teachers make their content digitally accessible. More recently, I've been doing lots of work around digital literacy and digital citizenship. This work is near and dear to my heart, and now more than ever, it's so important that we address these topics so that our students are empowered to use technology safely and responsibly. However, today I'm here to share something a bit different. We teachers have been doing so much and working extremely hard to ensure that our students get the very best instruction, whether they're remote or hybrid. We have moved mountains. We have worked late nights and weekends. We've been tech support for students and families and even fellow teachers. But here's the thing, for all the work we've been doing, it's extremely important for us to not forget one ingredient, and that's to have a little fun. School is weird right now. Some of our students are fully remote and will likely be that way for the majority, if not the entire school year. In person school is a bit different too. Students won't be able to play and interact in the ways that they've done previously. And so it's extremely important that we don't lose sight of this quality. Have fun with your teaching, make your students laugh, build connections with them. Let them see that silly side of you too, the one that some teachers wait until after Thanksgiving to show. Play virtual games. Let the first few minutes of your Zoom meeting be for catching up and sharing fun facts, like who has a pet. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Let students see you struggle with the tech, because even us tech folks have had our fair share of difficulties. I hope that today you walk away feeling empowered to help all of your students, but also that you feel more comfortable to have some fun. Enjoy, guys.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Melissa Jacobs, and I am the Director of Library Services at the New York City Department of Education and the New York City School Library System. For nearly 30 years, school librarians across the city have come together for our system's annual fall conference, celebrating best practices, forthcoming titles, up-and-coming authors, acclaimed writers, technology, accessibility, instruction, and school librarianship. Unfortunately, like so many other things this year, our conference was put on hold, and we will not have the opportunity to hit it out of the park at Citi Field. However, our dedication to learning, collaboration, libraries, and our New York City students has not ended. It just looks a little bit different. I am thrilled to have had the opportunity to plan today's event with Tech and Learning magazine and my colleagues at the New York City Department of Education. Today's virtual forum will introduce digital literacy and the Empire State Information Fluency Continuum, building communities, digital citizenship, and much more. As the notorious RBG stated, I'm a very strong believer in listening and learning from others. I hope you today enjoy doing the same. Meet a new colleague, listen to our amazing presenters, learn from others, and walk away inspired to continue thriving this year as an educator and essential worker. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you all so much for joining today. I want to thank our paraprofessionals, our teachers, our service providers, our principals, our assistant principals, all of you who have worked so hard and so tirelessly to support all of our students, especially our students with disabilities. In the Beyond the Access series, we've been able to reach many families to support them as they've been our even closer partners at home, teaching from home and providing services remotely. I want to also thank Christina Foti, our Deputy Chief Academic Officer, for her efforts with her team and how much they've put in the hours and really the listening ear to make sure that we all, as a DOE family, can best support all of our students. Thanks so much and enjoy the day.
And welcome to the Beyond Access Forum. This is one of my favorite days of the year, and although we don't get to be in person as we usually are, I want to thank you all for continuing to answer the call to action on behalf of our students and their families in a remote, blended, or in-person world. This year we have partnered with the Division of Instructional and Information Technology and the New York City School Library System to bring you this amazing virtual conference. One of the driving factors leading to the expansion of this forum was a desire and need to create a larger platform for our students with disabilities. And one of the ways we hope to do that is by tailoring or framing our professional development in a way that equips you all, our dynamic professionals and parents, and in some instances both, with the content you need to bring students together in a way that honors their strengths. Many of you have heard me talk about inclusion and interdependence in the past, and this pandemic has been an exercise in understanding the importance behind our interdependencies. For those of you who haven't heard this term before, interdependence embodies the belief that every child benefits from being part of a community that is rich in diversity. Today we have prepared different panels and breakout sessions to share with you best practices for supporting students in both blended and remote models. Whether you are a principal, a teacher, clinician, paraprofessional, or parent, I hope that you will walk away, or in this instance, log off, from today's conference with much needed additions to your toolkit. I thank you, and I look forward to connecting in person soon.
Hello, my name is Cornelius Minor, and I am an educator coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. And I am thrilled to be a part of this year's gathering. As we gather together to study and to reflect and to think about all that is and all that can be in this moment, I wanted to leave you with just a few thoughts as you make your way through this year's all virtual conference. That I want to talk to you a little bit about what we've all been thinking and feeling, but we haven't really gotten a chance to articulate. So I'm going to spend just a bit of time talking to you about how we are here for all kids. But as we work through the difficulties and the challenges of this moment, that we are here for us too. Now, when I think about all that exists right now, I've got to talk about this current moment, that we are gathered here to study, yes, but so many of us come from communities where we have been challenged and taxed to produce and to do things that we've never done before. That we as educators are being asked to do what we used to do, but often with less time and fewer resources and very little direction. And sometimes this can be stressful. As I have worked over these last few weeks, one of the things that I am beginning to learn is that we cannot pass this stress on to children by doing to them what the world is doing to so many of us educators. So then comes the question, how do we solve this? As I have been working through these past weeks, I have been thinking about bringing a lot more consideration to the work that I do every day and to the work that we share together. I have been thinking about just the day in and day out of our work, in and out of literacy, in and out of technology, in and out of communities that might or might not be in crisis. And as I think about all of these things, one of the things that has really struck me is that expecting kids to do the same amount of work that they have done in years past is a flawed expectation, that we can still have high expectations for kids. But those expectations have to be humane and realistic and flexible. We know that learning is not and has never been a simply do your work transaction. Rather, we know that learning is relational and we can lean on all that we know about learning, even in this moment right now. I'm also learning that giving 100% of my energy every day to every task is not sustainable. It's not sustainable for me, nor is it sustainable for kids. So I have been learning how to choose my effort and to calculate how I want to invest my energy. Now, for those of you who know me, you know that I am a serial overachiever. But one of the things that I am learning again is that not every day can be a perfect 10. It's simply not healthy. If I give a perfect 10 on Monday and then I have a perfect 10 Tuesday and a perfect 10 Wednesday, I am often depleted by Friday. And so I've been thinking lots about how I ration my energy across the week. Now, it's important to note that rationing one's energy is not lazy or irresponsible. Rather, rationing is what responsible people do in extreme situations. When many of us think about the lessons that we have learned from history, we look to the American home front during World War II, and we know all of those heroes rationed their food, rationed their cloth, their clothing, their metal, and we know that rationing is an investment in the future. So as I look out on each busy week, and the weeks only get more and more intense as we go deeper and deeper into the school year, I choose how I'm going to spend my energy each day. So I might look at my Monday, I sit on Sunday evening at my kitchen table, and I give myself 40 points. So again, I might look at my Monday and I might say, all right, I want a perfect 10 Monday to start the week, but then I've got to follow that up with maybe a Tuesday that's a 7, or maybe a Wednesday that's an 8. So I give myself 40 points to spend across the week so that I am not spent by the end of the week, that no community needs a tired teacher, but we can't be at 100% every day. Also, as I make my way into this moment, I am considering the very methodologies that I am using in classroom and in learning spaces with kids, that we can use our remote and hybrid or in-person methodologies to conserve our energy and to allow kids to be more independent. We know that this is good for kids and this is good for us. That in my physical classroom, I never would have talked at kids for 40 minutes at a time. Yet we find ourselves in these Zoom situations doing a little bit of that. And I am really striving to embrace the methodologies that I knew to be powerful in our physical classroom spaces. And I am repurposing those methodologies for our remote and distant spaces. So as I close today, I wanted to just leave you with a few things to guide your thinking and your work as you move through this conference and through your school year. I am often returning to the values that many of us shared together before this pandemic hit. And this is the reality that as New Yorkers, we believe in human-centered care. We have been experts at putting people before policy every time. We also understand that no one learns from just listening to their teacher talk. We know that children need multiple opportunities for practice, and we can cultivate those even if we're 6 feet apart in our classrooms, even if we are distant through these computers. Finally, multiple literacies exist, and all of those literacies are valuable. The child who writes a 5-paragraph essay to elaborate on their thinking is not more capable than the kid who sketches a diagram. And we can lead and work and teach in ways that acknowledge this. Also, as we consider the work that must be done moving forward, it's important to note that flexibility and creativity and innovation must define our work, not fidelity to programs or to rules or to long established ways of doing things. We are allowed to abandon yesterday's thinking if it does not serve today's needs. And then in closing, I want to remind you that in all we do, justice matters. And so this means that we center kids who have been most marginalized by school. And we understand that not all kids will get the same thing as we work. So again, I want to welcome you to this experience. I want to thank you for all that you do for children across New York City, but also for the investment that you consistently make in our shared future. Again, I am Cornelius Minor, and I am thrilled to be with you in this virtual experience.